tonight, I want you to stop being just another developer. I say, stop being developers, we're all developers. What do you want me to do? I want you to become a graphic designer and a developer. I did that a couple years ago, and I've seen such a tremendous change in my career. But let's see what someone says, motivational speaker says about being a designer real quick, just to get an idea. And Daniel Pink, I take his opinion very highly when he says something like this, but a little bit theoretical. So here's some examples. Efficiency. If you are a graphic designer and a developer, you are going to have to do less with designers. So you're going to get more done. There's fewer dependencies. Productivity. You're getting something done. They give you a broken image. Something needs change. Do it yourself. You don't fall off the ladder. You keep your productivity rolling because you don't have to wait for that design team to come back. And then I got told this by a company I'm working with right now that I won't disclose, but he says, I just draw pictures for a living. Well, I thought, well, okay, what if I drew pictures for a living and I'm a developer? Maybe that'll do something for my career that he doesn't realize I can do. So let's see, what's that going to make me? It's going to make me a super developer. Because I already know HTML5. I already know CSS3. If I can crank out the graphics, the UI, and explain the user experience all in one, I'm going to get better paying jobs, and I'm going to get more jobs to start with. Another reason is ideas. Give a design team ideas, and they're going to have all these tons of ideas. If you can control both the design and the development, you can distill it down into a single idea that works for your client without getting muddled. Speak the design language, whether it's comps or proofs or specs, layers, whatever it is, if they're talking Photoshop lingo or whatever it might be. If you can talk the language of the designers and you have to work with them, they're going to understand you because they don't understand tech lingo. And then the developer perspective. You can say, wait a second, this design's not going to work because of X, Y, or Z from an implementation standpoint. Designers don't have that perspective. So if you can design and implement, you can create a better situation. Collaboration. You're going to get stuck working with a designer at some point. If you both know how to do something, which is the common ground is graphic design, you're going to be able to collaborate and help each other out and get things done. And then experience. As a developer, I have seen more bad UIs and design faux pas than a designer probably has. So why don't I apply that experience to designing interfaces for my clients that are all the better than just leaving it to the designers. So what are we going to need to start out? You are going to need some extra cash because the programs you need cost quite a bit of money. You're going to need some time because you're going to need to learn these tools and what it takes to be a graphic designer. And then just some websites, which if you have internet, you're not going to have a problem. So master the basics. Don't try to become a Photoshop wizard or think you have to Photoshop Inquirer style photos. This is just about designing, mocking things up in Photoshop. Don't burn time in HTML trying to build something if you could mock it up in Photoshop. If you want to look like a color theory expert, hit up color.adobe.com. This will give you all sorts of color samples. You can build all sorts of rules, and it makes your colors work so you look like an expert when it comes to theming. Photoshop, grab a copy. If you don't already have it, buy CS5 as the version. It's the ultimate copy right now. It's expensive, but you're going to need it. So go out and get that. If you want to learn, grab this book. This is the only book I keep right now on my bookshelf for Photoshop, even though I've been using Photoshop for years. So give this one a try. You can reference any section, pick it up, and you're using Photoshop. So this is a really handy tool for building raster graphics. Adobe Illustrator really comes in lately when we're looking at multi-platform deployment. Well, I need a graphic or an icon or a button that I can have a raster version for mobile and desktop and different resolutions. Create those buttons and those designs in Illustrator as vectors, then export them as rasters. Here's the book I recommend, Real World Adobe Illustrator. Again, go with version CS5 if you don't have Illustrator already, because it's the real strong point in the Adobe suite right now for HTML5 development. And then, free if you have internet, smashingmagazine.com is authored by developers, web developers specifically, and graphic designers, and then articles that kind of mesh all those ideas together, so it really helps. So hopefully if you saw my first slide, you will stop worrying and learn to love the design. I hope you can find a new direction by not being just a developer, but pursuing some graphic design as well, getting a better paying job. So thank you, and have a good one.